Hey everyone, I'm going to interrupt your regularly scheduled program this week because I would like to make some announcements. I'm taking some trips to Costa Rica. Yes, very exciting. It's been a while since I've gone on a trip, but they're group trips. So I'm taking some folks on a group botanical adventure to Costa Rica. We have 2 trips that are going, and both of them had sold out really quickly, but we had some shuffling happening on the first and second trip, and the first one is still sold out, but the second one, it looks like we're going to have maybe 2 or 3 additional spots, and this is in November. So this second trip is going to be November 13th through the 19th, so they're going to be 7-day trips, and we're going to be flying into San Jose, and then we're going to be making our way to La Fortuna and then off to Monteverde. And Monteverde is a montane forest, a montane cloud forest. And it's been a while since I've been to cloud forest territory, but some of that is an ecoregion that is just unique unto itself. Lots of endemic plants and interesting birds like the quetzal. So I wanted to open this up to you to see if you would like to join, since we have 2 or 3 spots available. And I'll send a link to that as well. And some of the activities that we're going to be doing are lots of hikes. So it will be kind of a more, say, vigorous, vigorous trip. So it's not like I was telling folks on the Zoom call that we had that it's not going to be a total string bikini trip. It's not like we're going to be at beaches and things along those lines. We're going to be in more mountainous terrains. It'll be towards the tail end of the rainy season as well in Costa Rica, so it's going to be one of those trips where it's going to be an adventure no matter which way that you slice it, because you never know what the weather is going to do. And it's actually going to be a little cooler than typical because we're going up in elevation up towards the montane regions. And I have some, we're going to see the Arenal volcano, we'll go to the hanging bridges, we'll do some night tours, which the last time I was in Costa Rica, the night tours were, for me, some of the most exciting because, one, you typically don't go out at night, and some of the most interesting herps, which is our reptiles and amphibians, and even insects at night. I got some incredible photos from my last trip. I have not been to this area, however, of Costa Rica, so this is going to be a new adventure for me as well. And what I would, typically turn into videos for the channel, which I do hope to shoot and film while I'm there, but I don't know how I could maybe manage that with taking a group and filming at the same time. So I just have to kind of play it by ear. I feel like we have 2 back-to-back trips, so I could probably sort some of those logistics out on the fly and see kind of what works the best for us. So for those of you who cannot join us, I will engender to try to film as much as possible so that you could get a little bit of a flair or a taste of these botanical field trips, which I hope to do more of, at least maybe 1 per year, but I'll see how these turn out. But we have some incredible folks that are going on the trips, and I would love for us to fill it up to the tippy top, and so that we have no seats left, because it's just a really unique experience, and I would like to share that with you. Also, for those of you who have been to the area or love the area and have other suggestions of places that you think we should go see or people that you think we should meet, then let us know. I will have some downtime, personal downtime in Costa Rica, and I already have some of my days planned out of filming sessions, but there's always maybe a little wiggle room depending where it is. I won't be traveling too far from San Jose in between my downtime. I would say within 1 to 3 hour drive, it would be acceptable for us, just so that we are not traveling. I don't want to spend most of my time traveling when we could actually be doing more filming. But yeah, this is going to be really exciting. So I'll leave that link there. And I have a second botanical adventure, although this one's going to be closer to home. And this may be more interesting for folks who don't want to travel internationally or don't have 7 days to commit to a botanical vacation, or who may be in the area. But on my second channel, Flock Finger Lakes, which some of you may already know of, we're doing more obviously like gardening outdoors, and it's kind of more renovation and landscaping, hardscaping, that type of stuff. So if you're an apartment dweller, this may not interest you, but if you'd like to see what we are doing here at Flock and some of the gardens and the landscapes that we've put in, and to see and explore some of the management techniques that we're doing outdoors, some of the plants that we're using. We're in Grow Zone 5, 6 here in the Northeast, and we're in the Finger Lakes region of New York, which is an absolutely beautiful area, and it's a beautiful time to be here is in the late summer, early fall. And on September 15th, we are going to be doing a garden tour. And I have been doing some of these garden tours this year, and they've been all sold out because kind of groups have come in and taken spots, and then it's just like having too many people here. So we have probably, I would say, maybe 10 spots that we have left for the September 15th tour. So I wanted to make an announcement to you as well. Since I'm making the announcement of the Costa Rica trip, I figured why not do this as well and give you a couple different options. And then we'll be doing a guided tour here at Flock, which I'm excited about because we've been putting in a lot of work here. And I hope you don't mind, but I'm gonna take like this week off for doing any type of major kind of Plant One On Me video. I'll consider this update. I'll cheat. I'll say that this update video was a normal Plant One On Me video. But we are working overtime here. This week is the last week that we'll have our neighbor's lift. Our neighbor has expressed some largesse and bestowed us with their lift to basically renovate a 40 by 60 barn here, which we are working on to finish by the end of this week, and so that we could give them their lift back. We've held on to it for far too long, and it's taken us a long time because it's really just 2 of us doing the renovation. And so I'd like to just really focus on that, so I hope you don't mind. But I'll send you those 2 links and in the description of the video below, and you could take a look, see if it's something that you may want to participate in. And I'm really eager to do these because these are totally experimental for me, because if they go as I hope they go, nothing ever goes as planned, right? But if people enjoy them, I would like to explore this as something that we do regularly. And by the way, if this is something that interests you, and it's not something that you could do this year because it is kind of a little last minute. Not really, I mean, November is like still a few months away, but like if it's just not in the cards for you this year, I'm also going to link to a poll. And I'd like to take a poll of where else, or where would you like to go? Where are the places that you would like to go on a botanical adventure, country-wise in particular. And then I'm also going to consider doing some things that are a bit more local to the States. And I know I have a very international audience, and some of you who are doing the polling may find that the States is really hard to get to, especially all my folks in India and the Philippines and everything along those lines. But I'd like to do some maybe 2-3 day trips in the States, so that it's more accessible for folks. Maybe you could don't even have to take off of work. It could be like a weekend trip. Although sometimes the best times to go are during the weekday, because then you get a lot of less folks around. But yeah, I'll send those 3 links. So the 3 links will be the Costa Rica trip that has spots left, and the people who have already RSVP'd have to pay by August 15th. to commit to the full trip, and that's why I said we might have, I know we have 2 spots available, but there might be a third. And then I'll give a link to the Flock Finger Lakes guided garden tour, which is happening on September 15th. And then I will also provide a poll link, and I'd love for you to fill that out. If you're looking to do a botanical adventure with me, I'd love to know where. Maybe it is also Costa Rica. Maybe you want to go and join a Costa Rica trip. Maybe it's Hawaii. Maybe it's Thailand. Maybe it's Japan. Maybe it's something else. And so they'll have like a few questions for you to answer, and then that gives me a better sense as to whether there's some viability to do this over again. So, yep, thank you so much, and thank you so much for tuning in to Plant One on Me. It really means a lot. And for those who have crossed over onto our other channel, Flock Finger Lakes, thank you as well. I'm glad to see that a lot of this stuff really interests you, especially now that I'm able to plant outside and do a lot more wildlife gardening and putting a lot of my loves into practice. Like that just, it brightens my day every day and allows me to see the interactions and the connections that sometimes I knew existed out there, but I sometimes did not get to see when I'm just growing the plants indoors. But what's always very nice is to be able to see the connections to the plants that I grow indoors to the plants that grow outdoors, and the ability to be able to now go on these field trips with you all, whether it's through the videos that you watch or whether it's physically with you, to just make those connections and see those plants growing in the wild. I mean, that's always an eye-opening experience. To see the plants growing in the wild, in the places where they're from, and interacting with the whole ecosystem. I mean, that just really brings it to life in a whole other perspective. So thank you again for tuning in. If you really enjoy our channel, I would ask that you consider liking, subscribing, leaving a comment, and hitting the notifications button, because it really does help the channel grow. And you know, botanical information, it's really obscure and esoteric for some folks. So it's nice to know when you do that it's a confirmation that this stuff is valuable to people, and that means a lot. So thank you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.